Aloha, and welcome to Betty's Real Estate Corner, brought to you by Caldwell Banker Sakamoto Properties. We have another exciting day here. With us is Mikey Tejada from basketball fame, Lahainaluna. And Mikey is, of course, back home and has been here for quite a few years now. She runs a basketball camp. We're going to ask her all sorts of questions about it. But she's doing some amazing things. We've even gotten her to say that she will get a real estate license, and she's working on that, so she's got that started. And she's so amazing and knows so many people that we're thrilled to be able to have Mikey part of our teams of everything. And we want to talk about football. Last game. Oh, my gosh. I can't do that game.
That was a great game.
It was. I liked the 42-0, or maybe it was 42-6.
Yes.
I forgot that sixth part.
Yes. Those were tough games for the opponents.
I have like a nervous breakdown when they're not winning. I hate it. You know, and Roy hates that I hate that, but I do.
Yeah, some of the games they could be very nerve-wracking to watch, but this past game, that was a really great one, all the way down to the wire.
That was nerve-wracking. That was miserable for me. Anyway, so let me think what else. I'm tangled here in our wires. Let's see. We got the real estate part. So you've kind of started doing your reading and getting ready for that.
Yes, I've done a little bit of reading, opened the book, was already surprised to see that real estate was the single largest industry, so that was just kind of exciting. It kind of has its hand in everything going on.
I agree. It is, and really, for whatever it's worth, anybody really willing to work it can make money, substantial money. And I think people lose track of that because a lot of times somebody will get into the business and they've got another job, so it's a second job. And if they could make $10,000, additional $20,000, whatever it is, that's a ton of money. But if you're really working it all the time or have a partner with the different things that you're involved in, I think you'll be absolutely amazing. So we just have to get you through the course. And I know you can do it. She already has more degrees than I will ever have. She went to Gonzaga on a full-ride scholarship. She also played basketball there and was spectacular. And she was the queen of Lahainaluna basketball. So those are all really pretty amazing things.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm glad to be back and be home and help the community, especially with basketball, and in Lahaina, helping up at Lahainaluna on the boys' side, being an assistant with TJ Ricard, who was my classmate and really good friend growing up. Mm-hmm. So it's been nice to kind of do that and try to build that and be around the kids. And
the basketball camp?
Yes, we had a basketball camp this weekend. We had Chris Hippa come down from the Seattle area, and he is sponsored by Baden. So they gave out, I want to say, 40 balls in total to all the kids, from regular basketballs, girls and boys, to heavy basketballs that are about 3 pounds. So yeah, basically all the kids got to go home with the ball. So it was nice, to kind of get back into it.
Did they get shoes a while ago also?
Yeah, we've had so many people donating, from nonprofits to colleges, businesses, individuals, donating shoes, jerseys, equipment, balls, hoodies. I mean, really anything you could think of, So that's been kind of nice. We've been sorting through, we've been having boxes come in since the fire. So it's been going through that, sorting them out, getting them to the schools, the kids, So that's been nice. It's been keeping me busy. So that's been nice to kind of give back and be a part of that.
Mikey's been doing the camps, and Janelle Reed from our office, our assistant, has a son who I think is 12 or 13 or turning 13, and he's been one of your students for a while. And
Max.
Max is so loving, everything
Let's go,
that
Max.
he does.
Shout out to Max.
Yeah, shout out to Max. Max Reed, where are you?
Yes.
But I guess he's really doing great, and he so loves being a part of your camp.
Yes, he really enjoyed it. I think at first he was a little nervous, but at the end of the first day, talking to him, he's like, "Yeah, I'm coming back." So it was nice to kind of see him in a different element. Usually when I'm seeing him, we're at Napili Park and it's one-on-one, to kind of have him in a group setting with, I want to say in his group there was almost 30 kids.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, for him to be in that and be able to kind of experience all the different players and the different skill sets and just be around that type of environment, it was good to kind of see him like let loose, and he was kind of feeling himself a little bit when he started doing the drills. So
yeah, I bet he's good. I bet he will be good.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, I got to go home with a ball. I think a heavy ball too. So it's good. Max, you better be using that thing.
I'm sure he is. I think it's hard. We talked a little while ago here. We don't want to get on what's all gone on in Lahaina. We don't really want to make a big thing, except to talk about all of the things that are still going on there. And you were mentioning the different parks and the different places that still have things happening.
Yeah, we've got KAOI Park. We have Esterns. We have the boat ramp at Kahana. There is
Napili Park.
Napili Park.
Yeah.
Yep. And they've had singers come through. I think Common Kings came through at one point, Iration, Paula Fuga. So there's different activities where people are coming and offering their services, whether it's masseuse, acupuncture, different things at the hubs where people can kind of come and do those things for free. They have dinner, they have groceries, they have, really anything you could think of. They're still holding it down and providing for everyone. So that's been the cool part. The community come together, but everyone else kind of in the world, people that I've barely known or I've met through basketball or things like that have, kind of
stop by to help if they can.
Yeah, stop by. Offered, whatever they could, whether it's resources or, sending things or, so it's been nice to see that, like, not just for myself, but for the community, so.
I think the community does matter, obviously, to all of us, but I think it does matter also that to realize that everybody didn't have the same insurance as other people, whether it was medical insurance, house insurance. People that were tenants were in a different position than people who had ownership. And there were a lot of people, I'm sure, that were in places where they were renting a room, which makes it even harder to justify, I don't know that justify is the word, but to make everyone understand that you are a part of everything that happened because you were living there and you had to leave and you had to pull your things together at the last minute. No. Which had to be overwhelming for anybody.
Oh yeah. I think it's definitely been tough, on top of dealing with that, with the insurance and things like that. You have to. A lot of people are still staying in the hotels, dealing with Red Cross, whether it's they're having, to check in every 24 or 48 hours, or not necessarily sure. When they're going to have to check out and where they're going to go, so it's really just I think the anxiety and the frustration and all of those things factored into it, so it's definitely tough, just kind of seeing, friends and family and people that in situations like that and having kids and, not necessarily knowing what to do or where to go. So, just trying to be there as much as possible. But
it has to be horrible.
That's kind of been the light of everything, is just people coming together and people trying to be there for each other. And I think if it was going to happen to any community, the Lahaina community is one that's going to pull together, figure it out, and be better,
Yeah.
So.
But it's not going to go away anytime soon.
No, I think it'll be 3 to 5.
I do too. I was thinking exactly the same. I hated to say that out loud, but I think you're right. It's going to be 3 to 5 years. And it could be longer for people when you get ready to build. because I think there's only so many contractors. I hate hearing all of these out-of-state attorneys that keep advertising on radio, on television, everywhere, that they can really provide a huge service, and I hope they can, because I think they're getting a lot of clients, but I'm not sure that's totally the answer either.
Yeah, I think people definitely have to do a lot of their own research and due diligence about just the things that are going on and the things that are out there, because I mean, I think there are people who are trying to help, but just like anything else, there's the other side of that as well. So I mean, I think it's just a delicate time that, it's going to be a marathon. So
yeah, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
I think it really is going to be hard for a while. And the other thing is, all of the rest of us should take a long, hard look at whatever fire insurance we have on our homes, whatever medical insurance we have. Does it cover something? What emergency is really covered? Because I think so much happened to people that thought they had everything that they needed. They wouldn't need any more insurance. It would all work. I've talked to people now who, again, have lost everything, and they're still not sure what's going to happen. There are people that had a house down around Front Street with a great swimming pool. So it wasn't like a starving person, but all of a sudden it's the same thing. They don't know if they're ever going to be able to build again, where they should be going, what they should be doing. They're getting older. And it's interesting because it's going to be hard for everybody. And I hope none of us ever have to go through this again.
Yeah, it'll definitely be hard. I think I just don't want anyone to leave. That's my thing. I'm going to be here in Lahaina, and I'm never going to leave. I have roots here. My family won't leave,
No.
My grandpa hasn't really left Lahaina much. He's kind of been in Lahaina the whole time, So, I'm going to be here. So I hope that, the friends and the family and the community and the people that I've grown up with and see all the time, that, I hope they all can figure it out and be able to stay. But, I think it's just going to be tough.
It's going to be tough on everybody. You're right. We're staying. We're lifers. Roy grew up on Lahainaluna Road, 463, and we're never going to leave. I don't want to. Right now, I was supposed to be going to Buffalo, where my family are, and I was all set to go. Julie and I were going to go and just spend a few days. My sisters have been having some medical problems, blah, 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 blah. But it said all of that. I suddenly realized I don't want to leave even for that right now. I just don't want to leave. Now, I don't know what that means. I just can't do it. I don't want to leave for anything. So we're lifers, and that's okay. And the people around all of us, we're lifers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All of my girls and all the basketball girls and people I've grown up with,
Your grandpa, Lanny Tejada, is her grandpa. The whole world knows Lanny Tejada.
Shout out to Lahainaluna football as well.
That's right. Go. A shout out to Lahainaluna football. Are you going to the game?
Oh, yes, of course. Right up on the hill. I have
Wait
to
a minute.
go.
You don't need tickets, or do you? Wait, I better not say that out loud. Do you need tickets?
Well, thankfully, my grandpa,
he's got you
took
set.
care of me. Yes.
We're
yes,
discovering.
My grandpa got me set. Thankfully, a shout out to Pops.
We can't get tickets. We will. Believe me, we will have tickets to that game. I'm not sure how right now, but we will.
Yeah, it's kind of been a little sprint for the tickets for all the fans. Yeah,
they were sold out 4 minutes.
Yes. I mean, last week's game sold out. I mean, every game's kind of been 10, 20 minutes sold out. I think this past one was the quickest,
I heard 4 minutes, because we were dialing.
There's a Lahainaluna football fan page on Facebook, and they get everyone ready. They get everyone ready to let you know, hey, at noon on Wednesday, make sure your thumbs are ready and you're ready to get on.
We were ready
because there's only so many. I think this because of the stadium size and whatnot. I think there was only 500 general admission tickets that were out there for parents, fans, whoever just wanted to come to the game. I'm not sure if it's just taking into account the other people that would be coming in, whether it's
the other team.
Yeah, the other teams. Well, I mean, then
Forgot
you
about
have
that.
you got the MIL sports pass
Yeah,
list
okay.
with the schools, and then you have you know, the pass list of people who are going to be coming in that have to, you know, be part of the press or My News or, you know, whatever it may be. So, but yeah, I think it'll be a great game. I know the parking is a little different too now, where they have, I think they're shuttling people from the Civic Center or something
like that, yeah.
the stadium. So I think it'll be a great atmosphere. I think it'll be good for the kids, and I think Lahaina community will show up as they always do, you know. And it's homecoming. So, I mean, I think the energy is going to be even more electric than I think we remembered the last time.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic. And you're right, homecoming makes a huge difference. And just having the school out. And the kids are now back in school at Lahainaluna, which is a huge thing. I think they've been there, this would be the third day.
Yep, I think they went back Monday, I think it was.
Is it okay, Monday, Tuesday? Yeah, fourth day. And
So-
I think it's going really great.
Yeah, some of the boys who play on my club team are there, and they've said, you know, things have been going well. I think maybe the majority of kids or so that they've seen have been back at school and whatnot, you know. But yeah, I think there's a good amount of kids that are in school and a good amount of kids that, you know, aren't in school yet or are just doing distance learning, you know, and doing that. So
some parents, I think, are afraid of the air quality.
yeah,
I've heard that, and I don't know. I guess I don't have a child in school now.
yeah, I think it's just I think it's tough just because the winds a lot of times they just blow straight up to the mountain, and with just the town right there, I think, you know, the community's concerns and the parents are valid for those reasons,
And
just based
Lahainaluna
off
Road.
of yep.
All of the houses there.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
then all of the evacuation routes with, you know, what people were concerned about too is trying to get out. Now you still got those 3 schools up there and one way out in and one way in, because you can't go through that lower road anymore, you know. So, you know, I think it's just a tough time, and I think it's good for the kids to get back and be able to be together, you know, and to have that sense of community, especially I think this is the generation that went through COVID, and then they were not able to be in school and had to do that online, and then now, you know, we're back home and things kind of get back to normal, and something like this happens, you know. So
remember now the seniors, they say the seniors kind of, their freshman year was a nightmare. They barely went to school, if at all. And now that same class are seniors, you know, so that the kids, whether it's Lahainaluna or any school, and especially in Hawaii, where it's a limited number of people, once things are tied up, they're tied up. The road is a nightmare, et cetera. And I think we all should start thinking broader thoughts. You know, years ago when I first moved here, which is now pushing 50 years, there was talk that they would have a road that would go through the pali, you know, through the mountain. And everybody was anti the idea. And there's lots of reasons to be anti everything. But I think for Lahaina, in a way, if that happened, at least there's an alternate route. It's going to be a 4-lane highway. I'm sure it'll be a 2-lane road with some good shoulders, you know, so people can pull over. But it's got to happen. And I know at one time there were federal funds available, and I think they weren't used. Now, again, that part is just my memory, which maybe isn't always perfect. But I think all of these things we've got to pay attention to and think about our community, and maybe we have to go a little more and have more than we've been living with.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think, you know, I think Lahaina, I think there was I want to say, I don't know who did these numbers, but maybe it was the state or something, but they said Lahaina produces, 12%, just the state's budget and money in general. You know, that's how much they make. Not Maui County, not, you know, everything.
Lahaina.
Lahaina.
Yes. Yeah, I have heard that.
Exactly.
And that same
you know,
figure,
so,
12%.
I mean, yeah, having one road in, one road out with things going like this, and then with, you know, everything that happened, I mean, I think it's definitely something that, you know, should hopefully get going now. I mean, but, you know, we'll definitely see what happens.
Did you read the other day, somebody published, and actually I had seen another copy of it, the 911 calls that happened. And again, I don't think it's anybody's fault. No, we can all come up with blame, but I think it's ridiculous. But when you listen, they only had so much information, the people who were answering, and they were doing their best to say something. But I can envision, because they didn't tell that part of it, the phones are ringing off the hook. You're answering as fast as you can and trying to get to the next call. And typically they're saying, leave. And often the answer is, we can't. I mean, I don't have a car, or my mother's an invalid, or we can't this, or we don't have, or the road is blocked, or all sorts of things. And that's a real tragedy. And it's a tragedy for the 911 operators who had to do their best to answer these calls and give people whatever they had. But I think it was so hard on them also, and the people calling in. It had to be their worst nightmare ever.
Oh yeah, that was definitely tough to hear. You know, I think even more so whoever it was in Lahaina making those calls, tough for them to kind of see and hear their voices now and on top of social media. You know, so that was something that was kind of tough to be out there, because it's just a vulnerable, tough time for, you know, everyone trying to figure it out and trying to get out. You know, so.
Hard.
I mean,
hard.
And with the electricity going down, I mean, so early in the morning and things like that, you know, I'm glad that there were some people who were able to make those calls and able to actually get through, because I know I didn't have service from like 9 a.m. until I ended up leaving Lahaina, you know.
What time?
Maybe a day or 2 days later, you know, and that was to make sure I could go and get stuff and grab stuff for my grandpa, because he needed his phone charger and things like that, you know what I mean? So, yeah. You
hard.
Know,
it was hard for everybody.
It was a tough time, but I mean, hopefully with things going forward, you know, we can try to make things a little better.
Well, and
better
for
the
anybody,
people of Lahaina, and for, you know, just
for the island of Maui,
and for the locals, and you know what I mean, and try to put more of a focus on the Lahaina people.
And everybody also has to remember, Lahaina is the whole west side. Lahaina 96761 is the whole west side. It's a tragedy that this ever happened, and we've got to be sure that we find ways that we protect the people that rebuild in Lahaina and live there, because this should never, ever happen again this way. But there has to be, I think, additional roads, additional everything. And I think, you know, you can't necessarily blame any one entity. We all were out without electricity for most of the day. I can't remember when it went out, but we live further out, and it was a hard day. It was really difficult. So I think everybody listening can, you know, let's all be a part of a solution in different ways. Let's listen to as many people and keep our anger to ourselves, or only when you need to use that, the anger. You know, try to work together and figure out what we can do, whether it's electricity or I don't even know what. I mean, if a fire starts, let's all pay attention and don't take the attitude, I don't need to leave. I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yep.
Because I do know someone who lost her husband that stayed to fight the fire. And I don't know exactly why, but we're back to Danny Couch.
Let's go, Danny Couch.
Thank you, Mikey Tejada.
Thank you for having me again. Let's go.